I'm a recruiter and I review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a machine learning engineer. This person gets literally 0 interviews. They have told me that they are applying to entry-level ML positions and they haven't gotten any interview calls ever. They're starting to wonder if their resume is all wrong. And the answer to that is yes. Yes, it is. Your resume should be getting a minimum of 1 interview per 50 applications. And people that follow my method, they get 1 interview per 7 applications. That is the average. So, I also want to let everybody know before I do this, I do more than tech resumes, but right now the tech market is so bad. So most of the resumes that get sent to me are tech. So what we need for a machine learning engineer, or ML, is degree, machine learning ML. You need to say machine learning parentheses ML. There is a possibility that the person hiring for your role does not know that ML means machine learning or vice versa. Yes, I am aware of how that sounds, but that's what may happen. LLMs, OpenAI, Claude, Llama, LangChain. I think specifically LangChain and LangGraph are some of the more popular ones, but this is a very wide ocean, so I cannot list them all. But as long as I see some of them, we're good. ML Ops, CI/CD, containerization, Kubernetes, cloud, any of them. Although if you say GCP, you need to write out Google Cloud Platform, parentheses GCP. SQL, any of them. ML frameworks like PyTorch or TensorFlow, Python, R, Cloud, ML pipelines, NLP, influencing cross-functional teams and explaining complex topics. You are the subject matter expert, and there are going to be people that do not know how to turn on their monitor, and you have to convince them why a data pipeline needs to do what it needs to do. That is going to be a part of your job. Production grade ML systems from start to finish, so 0 to 1, and I need to find 75% of these in qualification format, not keyword format, in 20 seconds. If I can find 75% of them, you pass. If I don't, you fail and you get rejected. Although considering this person has gotten 0 interviews and that's taken them, they've applied to over 150 jobs, I do not believe I'm going to find any of that, or at least not enough to move you forward. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what we can do. And start. Okay, degree good. Engineered the following 3 minimum. Okay, this doesn't matter. None of that matters. Design a modular, doesn't matter. Maybe YOLO does. Built a... okay, yeah, declined. This doesn't even have enough for data science either. Okay, declined. Yeah, this doesn't have enough for data science or even... Which data science is completely different than ML, right? I know they can go together, but what I'm looking for in a data scientist is completely different than what I'm looking for in a machine learning engineer. And I'm not talking about the title, right? I'm talking about the actual duties. But yeah, this has 0 things that I need. This is not shocking to me of why this gets literally no interview. So, first off, you state you want to be a machine learning engineer. Where is machine learning? I don't see it anywhere in your resume except for AWS ML, but that's not what I'd be looking for. Yeah, there's literally nothing that shows you machine learning. The only time you even say ML is at the very bottom, not counting this one little thing up at the top over here. So yeah, that's bad. Second off, you need to fix your formatting. Your formatting should look like this. This is how you do it. The link is in the description below, but formatting is like 30% of your grade. You can pass with bad formatting, and this is not the worst formatting. It just could be better. The real problem is your bullet points are completely non-existent. You have essentially submitted to me a blank resume. Engineered the following 3 minimum viable product, deep learning for an AI platform. That's not what I'm looking for. That is filled to the brim with hot dogs. So, what that means is I want you to imagine you are hungry. All right, you go to a restaurant and you're like, hey, waiter, I want a cheeseburger with pickles and onions. They say cheeseburger, pickles, onions. You say cheeseburger, pickles, and onions. They say, all right, right away, cheeseburger, pickles, and onions. So they go to the kitchen, they bring you back, and they bring you back a hot dog with cheese, pickles, and onions, and say, all right, here's your hamburger. And you'd be like, this is a hot dog. I wanted a cheeseburger. And they say, well, a hot dog has meat just like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns just like a hamburger. A hot dog also has cheese, pickles, and onions just like a hamburger. Thus, This hot dog is exactly what you wanted. You would look at them like they were crazy, and you would leave the restaurant and not pay, because that is not what you wanted. You do not want to get gaslit by the person that is taking your food order. And that is the exact problem with this. Is you said engineered the following 3 minimum product deep learning for companies spanning blah 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 blah. That is a hot dog. That implies that you have machine learning. It doesn't show it. And I need to have it shown. That is rule number 3 of resume creation, is if it's implied, it's implied, it doesn't exist. You have to implicitly say it. And then we go down to here is design a modular computer vision pipeline for detecting street lights and low-time drone imagery using an assemble of maybe YOLO, right? Maybe YOLO counts, but the rest of it doesn't. No one cares about these numbers. Again, where is the machine learning? But Lee, it implies, no, it doesn't. Nothing implies nothing. You cannot imply anything on your resume. The recruiter that starts thinking that people have it based on implications is the recruiter that gets fired for not doing their job. Build a thermal based on mass CNN FLIR leveraging. Again, the only thing I like here is AWS, but you weirdly enough ruined it by saying AWS ML, because I'm not looking for AWS ML. I'm looking for AWS, and I'm looking for ML, which also needs to say machine learning. But right now, this doesn't have it. And before you yell at me, if Java is different than JavaScript, then AWS ML could be different than AWS and machine learning. So nothing in here counts. Develops a hybrid RAG. Yeah, RAG counts. RAG is fine. I like that. But the rest of it is nothing, right? Except LLM and then that. So you have nothing here. And then we go down to here. Apply deep learning to lasers using Omega. Yep, again, bunch of hot dogs, 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 hot dogs. Here it is, created and presented data visualization using Python. I don't care about Seaborn, I do care about NumPy, and I do care about pandas. I don't care about the rest of those. Python, NumPy, and pandas convey insights to non-technical cross-functional team members and align goals. This is almost what I want. This sentence is almost what I want. So when we're looking for these, we're not looking for keywords, right? We're looking for qualifications. And a qualification contains a keyword, but is not itself a keyword. So what is a keyword? Technically, those don't exist, but that's what you all call them, so I call them that. But it's a skill that the hiring team needs. So this anything here would be a keyword. The hiring manager needs somebody with ML Ops. They need somebody with ML frameworks, Python, R, Cloud. That is a skill. What a qualification is, which is what we're actually hunting for, is a keyword plus how you used it, plus the business reasons that you used it, that is not a number or percentage, plus where you used it. And if it's not those 4 things, what, how, why, where, it does not count as a qualification. So created and presented data visualization using Python and NumPy to convey insights to non-technical cross-functional team members and align project goals. It does have the what, does have the how, does not have the business reasons. Now you say, well, Lee, align project goals. No, that's too vague. I need you to say something very, very, very specific. Like instead of convey insights, what insights? You don't tell me what insights. What kind of insights? Was it machine learning insights? Was it potato farming insights? Was it, I don't know. You didn't tell me. And align project goals is, I want a little bit more. Like, why would you align project goals? Why is it important that you align project goals? What is the actual purpose of doing this? I don't know. You didn't tell me. But the way you wrote this is better than anything else in your resume, and that's still not good enough to actually get an interview. So, and then designed, again, nothing. Scrum and Agile is nice, but it's not nothing. Okay, so basically, you have one okay sentence, and then nothing else. And then at the very bottom, you also have a skill section, but guess what? Skill sections don't count. They don't show me where you did it, and they don't tell me how or the reason or result. So everything you put in this skill section that is hidden all the way at the bottom is closer to what I would want, but again, you have to show me in the bullet points. So this is why this machine learning engineer is having 0 interviews, is because they have submitted a completely blank resume. And this is impacting them. This is why they cannot get a job, is this resume is entirely blank. I see, again, maybe YOLO is nice, but I'm not looking for keywords. I'm looking for qualifications. And these are not the qualifications. These are just keywords. Then down here, again, this is the only thing that actually matters. And even then, you didn't really tell me how you did it, like the reason or result of it for the business. So while this formatting is not the worst, the real problem is they've filled their resume with hot dogs and there's nothing here that I want. And you're a machine learning engineer. Where's the machine learning? I don't see a single machine learning here. Again, the AWS ML doesn't count. And your job title is nice, but you cannot rely on the job title, right? You need more than that. It has to be in the bullet points. Where is the machine learning? Where is the ML ops? Where is the cloud, the SQL? Again, AWS ML might be completely different than AWS, so I can't count that. Where is ML frameworks? Actually, you did show me ML frameworks. PyTorch, that was good. And Pandas, those count. Python, you did show me. Where's R? Where's ML pipelines? Where's NLP? Where's you did show me influencing cross-functional teams. You did, although you wrote it poorly, so it kind of doesn't count, but at least you had the right idea. And where's production-grade ML systems from start to finish? This is why you are struggling, is your resume is blank. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to need you to delete this and start again. And I'm going to need you to write the rest of your bullet points like this sentence, except I need more detail. So that's all I can do for this resume. Before we go to the next one, I just want to thank you all for watching, liking, and commenting and subscribing. It really helps me out. And if you ever need more help, you can always join me on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at YouTube and twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I get these keywords and I help people out a little bit more. And to my members who are supporting this channel, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. They get access to videos a little bit early, and yeah, I just wanted to thank you very much for it. And if you wanted to be a member, you can join in the link below. So thank you again for supporting me. I appreciate it. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a manufacturing engineer. So what we need for a manufacturing engineer is degree, the industry. I can't be in every industry, but different industries are going to require very slightly different things. But as long as I know what industry you're in, it's good. CAD, such as NX, Solid Edge, and CNC. Manufacturing, I want to see that you're in a manufacturing environment. MS Office, yes, you need this. Project management, so like influencing people, multitasking, communicating. They need to know that you can talk to people. Continuous improvement environments, so like Lean, Six Sigma, process improvements, OPEX, and then manufacturing specific regulations, so like GMP, medical devices, ISO, etc. So if you can tell, this is mostly going to be broken down to the individual industry, but let's see, what is their ratio, which again is how you can tell how good or bad a resume is. Unknown. I currently graduated from college and I'm looking for manufacturing entry level. I have been to school, career centers, and even career fairs, but no luck. Can you help? Yes. Also, they told me that this is their career center's amazing resume. So I am going to probably destroy this resume, and it has nothing to do with this person, but the career center. I do not trust most college career centers. Their advice is like 20 years out of date most of the time. So 20 seconds is on the clock. Let's see what I can find. And go. Okay, this doesn't count. Education is good, though. Led a faculty optimization warehouse picking operation using to... What? Okay, develop spaghetti. Okay, no. Weight frequency, no. No. Maybe, and time. You are too smart for your own good. You need to simplify this. At no point do I even see the... I saw the industry, right? Warehouses, I guess, kind of. But even then, I don't know if that's medical warehousing or... No, so you did not tell me the industry. You did tell me the degree. I don't see CAD. I don't see CNC. I don't see manufacturing, actually. I don't see MS Office. I don't see a ton of project management. I could consider maybe this sentence, which is presented data-driven recommendations to stakeholders, support improved throughput. But again, it's too technical. So the first part is okay, right? Presented. In fact, I don't know if I really want the data-driven part. This is not really something I care about for this. But presented recommendations to stakeholders to support, and then this is way too complicated. So if you notice, again, this resume is blank. You have filled this with hot dogs, and hot dogs do not count. Only hamburgers do. And there's just nothing here. What about this? Supported process by preparing equipment. No, there's nothing here. See, at least this is a little bit of the industry, but the rest of it isn't. Yeah, you need to redo all of this. There's like, also, what is a spaghetti diagram, and why do we care about spaghetti? See, kind of wish I used spaghetti in like hamburgers, because spaghetti also is meat, but I guess it doesn't usually have cheese, onions. Well, it does have cheese. It does have onions. Doesn't often have pickles though. So I guess by the and it you know what? I guess by this case, I asked for a hamburger and you gave me spaghetti, because spaghetti has meat, spaghetti has carbs, spaghetti can have onions, and spaghetti typically has cheese. But I don't have pickles. But yeah, in this case, no, there's nothing here that would signify you are remotely qualified for the role. You have to find the job descriptions, and you need to tailor your resume based on those job titles, and use those job titles to mass apply, because this is a resume for a role that does not exist. I have never seen in my life a single job description saying a requirement is that you develop spaghetti diagrams to operate movement and identify inefficiencies. You know what they are going to ask you? Have you worked in a manufacturing environment? Do you know MS Office? Can you do project management stuff? Which you actually kind of showed me a little bit. Can you do continuous improvement? Do you know manufacturing specific regulations? And I see none of that here. So again, this resume is almost entirely blank. These are two in the row that are basically non-existent. So I need you to go to delete this, go back to the drawing board, and put stuff that is actually relevant to the role, because this is why you're struggling, is they're going to look at this resume and they say, well, I don't know what this is, but it's not a manufacturing engineer. Next resume. This is a resume of an Android developer / engineer. So what we need for an Android developer engineer is degree Android Kotlin. I hate tech words. I know I'm mispronouncing that. So Kotlin, that you all know what it is. Android SDK, MVVM, MVI. That was rare, but I did see it. Git, UI, Jetpack, Compose, RESTful APIs, cross-functional, Hilt, Dagger, the scale of the product, architecture, and some, but not all, of the following, which is Flutter, backend language, AI, CI/CD, and RESTful API. So, this is pretty scattered, so honestly, I think you really only need most of the stuff from the front of the first half. I probably should really put, like, the scale in the sum of category, but let's see what this person says. I have not started applying yet, but I plan on, once I finish university. I'm looking for internships or junior positions. You need a separate resume for each of these. A good resume that gets you jobs will fail to get you internships, and vice versa. Mainly in Kotlin and Java development. You are very welcome to roast my CV and evaluate it as strictly as possible. I'd honestly appreciate direct feedback. So first off, remember, even if this is really good and gets you full-time roles, it will not get you internships. And if you have graduated, you probably won't get an internship. So let's do 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what I can find. And go. Okay, degree, good. This doesn't matter. I don't know what this is or why that matters. Developed a multi-platform mobile app. Okay. From 20 plus banks. I don't care about that number. And okay. Building 3-tier architecture, good, with cloud backend. What cloud? Using Firebase for web scraping and time. See, implemented MVM. Yeah, the formatting is bad on this one. So first off, relevant coursework is never relevant. Also, I'm letting you know I am a US-based recruiter. I have gotten people jobs in the UK, the EU, India, I think Singapore, Mexico, and Canada, and probably more. So my advice does work internationally, but it's never going to be an exact 1-to-1 ratio. It's like for the US, my advice is A+. For the UK and maybe the Czech Republic, it's probably like a B-. But it should be enough to get you a job, except the Netherlands. Apparently my advice may not work in the Netherlands, and I have no idea why. But yeah, so first off, the rest of that doesn't matter. I need to know the date you graduated here, because 2026 could be yesterday or it could be in December, and that matters for jobs. So just do the month here. Then we go down to here. Also remember, this is what your resume should look like. So this, no bold, nothing here bolded, nothing here should be bolded. No bolding. Bad. Bad. None of this lines either. No lines. See, it's already looking clearer and easier to read. Then your first bullet point is bad. So, do I like that you told me what you did? Yes, I think that's good. The problem is, I actually do need the keywords here. So, most people have the problem of the what and the how. You, on the other hand, need to actually just shove in keywords into your first bullet point, which I hate saying, but it's accurate for this one, because you don't tell me that you're a mobile app developer besides just saying mobile app. I need to know what kind. Could be iOS, could be, well, I guess could be iOS is the only other one that is an option, but I need to see developed a mobile app using Kotlin, Android SDK, Jetpack, Hilt, blah, 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 blah. You need to put your tech stack in the first half of the first sentence. Your tech stack needs to start at about this line right there. So this is about where it should start. Then building 3-tier architecture. Okay, good. Architecture is good with cloud-based. What cloud? What cloud? I don't know. You didn't tell me. For automated web scraping, data collection. So you just tell me what the cloud is, and this is actually a fine one. And I don't think I need Firestore. Maybe that's a specific one in the Czech Republic, but you probably would want to replace this with something else. Implemented MVVM architecture. Again, you mentioned architecture like 8 times. You want to mention it once. So implemented, in fact, you could put this up top, so you can put MVVM up here. With KOTOR, don't care. APIs, I do. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Designed for, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Yeah, where's the Kotlin? I'm never going to pronounce that right. I don't know. You didn't tell me. Where's the Android? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Where's the... I think you said Android SDK. No, you didn't. Where's that? Don't see it. Where's the Git, the UI, the Jetpack, the RESTful APIs, the cross-functional, the Hilt, the Dagger, the scale of the product, and the Flutter, or the backend language, or the AI, or the CI/CD. This is all that matters. It does not matter how important you think it is. All that matters is this stuff. Which, again, might be slightly different in the Czech Republic, but this should still at least give you a baseline to hunt for, because right now I don't see it. I don't see Kotlin. Like, where's the first time you say Kotlin? People are going to rage at me justifiably for messing this up. The first time you say it is, yeah, all the way down here in a skills section, which doesn't count, because remember, you need to tell me how you did it and the reason and result. So you don't actually say Kotlin, and that's immediately going to be a red flag to people. So I need you to focus on this stuff. This is the only thing that matters. If it's not this, it does not matter. Next resume. This is a full stack software developer. So what we need for a full stack software developer is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React, React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL or NoSQL, MongoDB, RESTful API, REST API, Cloud, any of them is fine. CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java, and also probably maybe C. It's very rare that I see C#. And bonus for AI, architecture, extra language, and DevOps and GraphQL. So, what is their ratio? 1 in 100. So this is not the worst ever. They said they've been applying for roles since last year, targeting full stack, system programmer, and Linux roles. I am an international student. I do keep changing my resume once a couple of months since I don't get interviews. So for the full stack roles, I switch the project and experience portions and update the ones in the summary. So you did give me a list of a job description for Linux, and the problem is you included the key responsibilities, and the key responsibilities don't matter. So I personally dislike when companies put them ahead of qualifications, but the responsibility section in a job description you can ignore. There is nothing in that that will help you get a job. I understand that's confusing, but unfortunately the only things that matter is the qualifications. So if you say, I followed the key responsibilities, well, those are not actually what we're looking for. So, because they just don't matter, unfortunately. So this person said that since this is a full stack, to pretend that their experience is above their project. So I will pretend to do that. And 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what we have and what I can find. And go. Okay, degree. Good. This is confusing. Built and deployed a full stack. SPA. What's that? Don't know. Using vanilla. What's JS? You don't tell me. And Vit with client-side routing. All right, there's nothing here. Developed Node.js. Okay, good. And Express. Don't care. With Superbase. Don't care. PostgreSQL. Do. Implementing JW2. What's that? I don't know. You didn't tell me. CI/CD by integrating with rows. Okay, so declined. The most important thing for a full stack developer is that you put a backend language or TypeScript and JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I have to go through with this every single time with full stack devs. You're going to say, well, hold on, Lee. JS stands for nope. They may not know that. If Java is different than JavaScript, which by goodness it is, then JS might be different than JavaScript, which it's not. It stands for JavaScript, but they may not know that. So I need you to fix this sentence, and instead of saying deployed a full stack, say built and deployed a full stack website using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS and then I need a little bit more there because, again, the rest of this doesn't matter. I don't care about Vit. I don't care about client-side routing or mobile devices. And I don't really know what an SPA is nor why it's relevant. And then developed a Node.js, good, but I don't care about Express. With Superbase, nice to have, maybe, but PostgreSQL is what I'm actually looking for. And JW2, don't care about an admin. CI/CD is fine. And again, like, you're not telling me. You have to tell me the business reasons. And cutting admin process time from hours to minutes, I don't care about. You can just say CI/CD pipelines by integrating GitHub to reduce our processing time so that X and Y. You have to tell me why that's important. And then there's nothing here that matters. Nothing here that matters. Like, this does not show the full stack. I don't see the back-end language. I don't see the front-end languages. All I see is CI/CD and PostgreSQL. Like, where's the Java, the JavaScript, the Python, the HTML, the CSS, the React.js, the Node.js. I did find Node.js. The Next.js, the rest of this stuff. So your issue here is that you put all of this advanced stuff and you didn't tell me the basics. And the theme of this episode and the theme of your resume in general is the basics get people jobs. Those basic boring qualifications that everybody has, that's what gets people a job. So I need you to rewrite this and make it simpler. And then for the Linux one, I do recommend making a separate resume for it, and probably just for the Linux one, just make sure not to look at the responsibilities because those don't matter. So again, this does not read like a developer for anything. That is the problem. You do not tell me you used full stack. Next resume. This is a resume of a data analyst in healthcare. The only real difference between a data analyst and a data analyst in healthcare is you're going to want like H17 or HL17. I forgot the exact one. And maybe something with like HIPAA for the industry. That's kind of it. Everything else is the same. So this person's resume is garbage. It is a 700-3 ratio. They are international, which does mean their ratio is going to be bad, but you still should be getting at least 1 in 100 for a international. The goal should be 1 in 100 at a minimum for an international. Well, actually kind of more almost a maximum. It's very tough for international. So what do we need for a data analyst? Well, what we need is Degree, industry, in which case healthcare. SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker. Influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. I need you to explain this, all right? This is not building a dashboard. This is directly explaining what is on the dashboard to these people. You cannot just say, I built the dashboard. You have to show that you can influence and communicate with them. And then how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. This is a big one. Every single data analyst messes this up. I don't care that you did a Monte Carlo flip-flop simulation. I just care that you solved a problem. MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R. Probably need to remove R. Multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have cloud and AI. So, we know this doesn't work, but let's see if this doesn't work because it's a bad resume or because they're an international student and their ratio is just going to be bad. So, 20 seconds is on the clock, and let's go. All right, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. All right, optimize SQL queries on to reduce what? All right, built interactive dashboards in Power BI, good. Enable to monitor outcome trends and inform employee policy, not enough. Automated data validation through job ensuring accuracy reporting, nope. Utilized to extract, what is this? All right, and time. So this does not work. They said, international student on an F1, so I don't need sponsorship until 2029. Yeah, but it's still gonna tank your chances. Have an OPT and a STEM OPT until 2029. Have clinical and informatics training. Actively looking for full-time. So, your problem is you focused entirely on how you got the data and not what the data actually does. So remember, you do not need a professional summary unless you are explaining a non-H1 visa. And in this case, you are probably going to be wanting an H1B, which means that the summary in this case doesn't help. Or alternatively, you are relocating. You definitely need to show where you're moving to. Or you are switching industries, which you're not doing. So the only reason I think you would actually want a summary in this case is, are you relocating? Then, I don't care about your coursework. The only time I think a coursework is actually maybe useful is like PhD level, because sometimes you do some very interesting PhD level work that other people would not, but otherwise it doesn't count. And bachelor's of dental surgery. It does give you a little bit of healthcare experience. I'm on the fence of this one. I'm actually on the fence of this one. This is... I'm actually not sure what to do. This one has stumped me, I'll be honest. Should you put a dental surgery, because it is healthcare related, you're going into healthcare, but it's not related on anything else regarding the job. Would they know? But dental surgery would at least apply prior experience with it. But you don't show me when you got it. So I would argue you probably don't want to include this. Either way, you still need to format your resume like this. This is garbage formatting. Then remember, skill sections don't count. Nothing here matters, nothing here matters, nothing here matters, nothing here matters, nothing here matters. So then we go to the actual bullet points. And this is where we start getting into more problems. So remember, this one line italicized, not bolded. Nothing here should be bolded. But optimize SQL. What do you mean optimize? Why do I care that you optimize SQL? What does that do for the business? And the answer is, I don't know, and they don't know. So don't say optimize SQL. Say created SQL queries to something, 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 something that is good for the business, right? Because right now the problem with this is there's only one thing here, and you want a minimum of 3 keywords per bullet point, and that's it. There's one thing, and you don't really tell me the reason you did it. You told me how, but I don't really care about the rest of this because this doesn't matter. Built interactive dashboards. You can just say data visualization dashboards. That's fine. In Power BI, good. Enabling stakeholders to monitor outcome and inform policy decision. Cool, I need more. Remember, you need 75% of these, and each bullet point needs a minimum of 3. And this is only for data visualization. This does not count for explaining complex topics or influencing stakeholders. Built interact. Okay, we already did that one. Automated data through accuracy. Again, not related. There's nothing here that matters. Utilized. What do you mean utilized? Just say used. Python and SQL. Okay. To analyze NLP, maybe that's a nice to have. But the rest of this doesn't matter. Why do I care that you linked extracted output to identify blah, 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 blah. Built Power BI dashboard to monitor performance metrics. Again, that's okay, but I need more. So my big problem here is I go all the way down to here, and the only thing I see is SQL, Python, and dashboards. I don't see that you solved a problem. I don't see that you influenced stakeholders. I don't see that you explain complex topics to non-technical stakeholders. I don't see that you used MS Office or Excel. I don't see that you used ETL. I don't see that you did multiple projects. I don't see that you had deadlines. And I don't see a single thing that is related to healthcare. So this is why this resume does not work. You need to go back to the drawing board, delete this, and redo it. It should look like this. And you can even look up data analyst has an amazing resume. I've gotten data analysts that are international jobs before. This ain't it. You need to make it basic. I understand you are incredibly intelligent. I understand that you have a master's and you could run circles around me in any type of mathematical anything. But the problem is they're not asking you to do that for the job. They're asking you, can you convince somebody that doesn't know how to send an email that using this data is a bad or good idea? So I need you to go back to the drawing board, delete this, start again, make it basic, make it boring, make it simple, and it's gotta have this. Otherwise, if it's not this, it doesn't matter. And especially for healthcare, you need like H17, or is it HL17? I can't remember. It's H and a 7's in there. I think there's one or two other letters. And you need like HIPAA and stuff. But that's all I can do for this resume. Thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that bell. I really appreciate it. And to all of my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. I'm a small channel, and I appreciate your support. And, you know, if you ever need any more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on both YouTube and Twitch at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I get this stuff, and I will see you all in the next video to get you ahead of your job search. Later, y'all.